I'm Roxie with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel where it's always about musical theater. So if you like that, don't forget to click and subscribe. So today I want to talk about agents, getting an agent for yourself, and can you trust them? If you're in musical theater, if you're in one of the bigger markets like New York or LA, Chicago, yes, you probably want to get an agent for yourself. And definitely if you want to do TV or film work. If you're in a smaller market close to home and you're just doing musical theater, you maybe don't need an agent at first. But definitely once you venture off into bigger markets, you're probably going to need or want an agent. You should always be able to trust this person. Like, please get a reputable agent. Check them out. Make sure they're, they have good credentials. People know them. They're reputable. They're honest in the business. But here's the thing. Here's some breaking news. And even the most trustworthy agents, or they should be, or they're reliable, and they're known in the business, are not always so honest. So breaking news, Mark Measures, who is a very well-known agent in New York, was just indicted on several felonies from stealing from his, not just his clients and his performers, but also from his own employees, like retirement accounts. So this guy right now allegedly was basically stealing from his clients, and he didn't just have like big names on Broadway. He also had just your regular working honest actors who were just living check to check, just putting food on the table, paying their rent, paying their medical bills. And what he was doing is getting paid and then keeping his, not just his portion and then paying the actors, but he was keeping all of it. And so when performers would call in and say, hey, where's that check I'm owed? He was giving excuses, like saying, oh, yeah, basically checks in the mail. Or, oh, yeah, there's been a bank delay, or, just blah, 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 some excuse. And what he was really doing is just siphoning off the funds, keeping it for the agency to pay off creditors or luxury items. He was just keeping all the money for himself and the agency. Just total schmuck. So meanwhile, these poor working actors are not getting any of their funds. They're out there hustling, working hard, being diligent, being disciplined, landing the jobs, doing the work. And then when it comes time to gather their checks, he's saying, yeah, sorry, just check didn't come. And he's out there, on a shopping spree at Saks Fifth Avenue. So, unfortunately, this does and can happen, like I say, even with the most reputable of agents. And sometimes even producers. I did a video about this with the musical Paradise Square. The producer just stopped paying the actors, and that musical went belly up, and then Equity had to step in with their attorneys and try to start, making sure the actors got paid their fair wages, even after the musical closed. But things like this happen. Things like this happen in any industry, but, it definitely can happen to actors even when they think they're being fairly represented with an agent as their go-between, who is somebody who they think has their best interest at heart and who's actually the person stealing from them. So you have to be careful. I've said this in another video. I have a law degree. I worked in law for several years. And, even if you don't want to go to those links, like, be a lawyer or, get a business degree and understand business, if you get a fine arts degree or fine arts major, they usually offer business classes. And I highly suggest that you understand like the business aspect to the industry, because you don't want to just be the talent and not have any clue as to the business side of things. It really behooves you to understand that. Obviously, negotiating a hard contract, you want a lawyer to look at, you want, hopefully, an agent you can trust. You want agents to negotiate things for you. When you get bigger and you have sort of your entourage of managers and accountants, you want them to, be handling your money decisions, but you want to be in on that. You don't want to just shut it out and say, oh yeah, I got everybody handling that for me. And then come to find out, when you start really looking into it, it's like, my money's gone, they embezzled from me, like what happened? Now you want to have hands on with that, and you want to at least be smart enough, or knowledgeable enough, I should say, that you know the pertinent questions to ask. Like, you want to have enough of a background in business that you go, okay, I need to know, these 10 things or whatever that I can ask and say, okay, what's the fine print on this contract that I need to know? What am I getting into? What are the points on this? What am I owed? What should be owed? What's the fair market value that I should be paid? And it's just those kinds of questions that it would really be nice to have in your back pocket, that you understand sort of the business side of things, because you don't want to get so caught up in, obviously you're a creative person, you're a talented person, but you don't want to just be thought of as that, of, yeah, they're just the talent and we'll handle everything. And then you get cheated, you get stolen from, and that's not cool. So just be aware of that. Just always kind of keep that in your back mind, because that is such a powerful tool that, it's a really powerful combination if you can come to the table as well and be part of the negotiations and say, yeah, I can sing, I can dance, I can act, and I'm a business person and I know what's going on. It's a really powerful combination. All right, so don't forget to click and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next.